I think there are two types of multitasking. There's multitasking that happens with our conscious mind, with the front part of our brain, and then there's multitasking where we're using our subconscious mind to do things whilst our conscious mind is occupied. Is it something that we should do? The general principle is no. But of course, with Agile, the answer to everything starts with, well, it depends. So let's look first at why we recommend not to multitask, and then let's see how we can do it successfully if we're using our subconscious minds. What we're going to need for this video is you're going to need to be able to pause the video from probably 2 or 3 times. You're going to probably need a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil, a stopwatch or a phone to be able to record your time as you're going through. So if you want to pause the video now and collect those things and then come back, that would be great. Right then, first of all, let's look at some of the research. The research suggests, this is published in Forbes magazine, that research suggests that every time we add a task, we lose time. So if we are able to focus on one task, we can devote 100% of our time. As soon as we start having to switch between 2 tasks, we lose about 20% of the available time. If we have 3 tasks, we lose 40% of our time overall, and so on. So, of course, it's not a very efficient thing to do. And we can actually prove that it's faster to do things if you focus than if you try to multitask. So let's do that right now. So with your piece of paper and your pen or pencil, pause this video and create 3 columns. So top of the first column, type in numbers, second one, type in Roman numerals, third in type in letters. So if you want to just quickly draw that out. Okie dokie. So obviously pause the video as you need to from time to time. So what we want to end up with is we want to end up with something like this. So don't do this just yet, but we want to end up with the numbers, the Roman numerals, and the letters in this order. So we're going to do this twice. So you're going to need to draw the columns out twice. The first time, what we're going to do is we are going to complete the information, but do one column at a time, one row at a time. So the number 1, then Roman numeral 1, then letter A, then number 2, Roman numeral 2, then letter B, and so forth. So when you're ready, stop the video, start your stopwatch, complete the information in the way I've described, and then stop your stopwatch as soon as you've finished and record your time. Okay? Right then, so you have a time to beat, which is good. So let's now look at doing this a second time. But this time, when you start your stopwatch, what we want you to do is complete the columns one by one rather than the rows. So now we complete the columns. So 1 through 10, Roman numerals 1 through 10, and then letters A through J. So stop the video, start your stopwatch, complete the exercise, and record your new time for what you've just done. Okay, so how did you get on? We've done this a number of times. We've done this live in workshops and webinars, and it's really interesting to see what the results are. I don't know what the results were for you, but it would be interesting to know if you can get that to me. But what we have found from the work we've done is that on average, people are twice as fast when they're completing the columns first, i.e. they're not context switching, as opposed to completing them row by row, so twice as fast. The other interesting thing, again, this works really beautifully when you're doing this with a lot of people. The other interesting thing is that the slowest person who was the slowest person when completing column by column, i.e. not multitasking, is faster than the fastest person who was completing it as a multitasker going row by row. We found that really, really interesting. So we know that we need to get the 3 columns done. We understand that. We've just been loaded with 3 columns, three things to do. But now, if we understand this principle, we know that what we can do is take one item at a time and deliver them one at a time, and we will deliver that faster than if we try and do it all at once. Okay, so that's a really important thing to remember. I hope that exercise helped you to really grasp that. Worth playing that game with your colleagues. Make sure that we understand how important that is. There is, of course, that caveat. What about the however? So again, we've been given 3 tasks to do. We decide which one we're going to focus on first. But what we can also do is work out, if we're working on our own or if our team is working together, if we can work out when we are at our best for certain types of tasks, we can timetable the work in a way which is really, really efficient and effective above all else. The next thing is there is something around cognitive loading and the fact that we use up our brains. Just like when you go to the gym, if you do only leg exercises, you'll only get so far. But if you switch between leg exercises and arm exercises, you can switch backwards and forwards a few times and get more exercising done in your time at the gym when you're doing that. And the same happens with the brain. But again, we need to be very deliberate and conscious about what we're doing and why we're doing that. This isn't multitasking. Well, it kind of is, but this is not the multitasking that we were talking about a second ago. This is actually making sure that we do one thing at a time, deliberately moving from one to the other. Of course, taking breaks is very important for the brain. Even a moment of just stopping, taking a breath, taking a few deep breaths can be really impactful rather than just keep slogging away at things. But the real trick I mentioned at the beginning of this video is about learning how to use the subconscious mind. You've been given these 3 tasks, these 3 important tasks. They're all urgent, they're all important, they all need to be delivered. So what I learned how to do a while back, this was around in 2010, I think it was, I learned that what we can do is we can hand tasks over to our subconscious mind and let it do the heavy lifting for us, let it work for us. And then when it's ready, you hear a little knocking on the back of your head, and that will be your subconscious mind saying, hey, I'm ready for you to take dictation. And this is exactly how it feels. So in one particular instance, I had a couple of speeches I needed to write. I was doing a report. I had to do a presentation as well, and I think there were another couple of things that I was working on. I think I was preparing to publish a book. So all these things were going on, but what I did was I just trusted myself. I learned to trust my subconscious mind to when it was ready to give me the speediest way, the speed of just taking notes, taking dictation from my subconscious mind, rather than all that heavy, difficult front of the brain thinking process that I did. So with multitasking, then we try and avoid it where we can, unless we know how to do it using our subconscious minds. I hope it works for you. Do get in touch because this is a great subject. I'd be really happy to talk more about it.